FM News Talk 97.1.
On-demand audio.
Let me get to Lise Wiehl right now from the Fox News Channel. We see her often on the O'Reilly Factor. Lise, how are you?
Hi, doing fine, thank you.
Not been much to talk about the last 24 hours.
It's been boring. But it's so boring that I haven't been able to, and I've got no sleep. I mean, I can barely talk. I wonder why that is.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
You've been kind of busy around here.
Well, everybody wants to hear your thoughts on this. I mean, how unusual a situation was that yesterday after, as Paul Ryan said, Mr. Comey came out and shredded the storyline that Hillary Clinton's been spewing out for 16 months.
Well, I have to tell you from a very personal perspective, I am a third-generation federal prosecutor, okay? And my father before me was a federal prosecutor, his father before him, and my father was a federal prosecutor. My father was also an FBI agent, so he's seen it from both sides.
Okay.
My dad and I spoke long and hard about this last night. We cannot imagine, I can't speak as my granddad because he's no longer with us. We cannot imagine a federal an agent telling a prosecutor what to do. Let me just tell you, if an agent had come into my office and said, Ms. Wiehl, you will or will not prosecute a case, I'm not a violent person, but that person would have gotten a paperclip up in their rear end.
Yes.
That just does not happen. Ms. Wiehl is the one who decides whether or not something will be prosecuted. I work with the agents. I tell them, where to go, what I need, what kind of evidence I need. I give them subpoenas. I work with them. I get in the car and drive around with them. I'll interview witnesses with them. That's fun. That's investigating. It's great. But ultimately, I am the one who knows the law. I'm the one with the law school. I'm the one that prosecutes. I'm the one that decided to wear the white hat for third generation and not go to a big firm, make less money, stand up and say in a courtroom, Lise Wiehl for the United States of America. I'm the one that does that. I bring the investigator into the grand jury because I convene a grand jury. I let them investigate. I bring the investigator in to testify in front of the grand jury, let the grand jury ask them questions. I do all of that. I do not let the investigator tell me whether or not it meets the level to meet the definition of the law. No. That's what I get paid nothing to do. That's not what they get paid to do.
So I want to assume for a moment that as a former prosecutor, Loretta Lynch has told us she'll leave this to her career investigators in the Department of Justice and take their recommendation.
Well, she really had to because she kind of got there in a little bit of a box, with the Bill Clinton getting on the plane and all that. It's just, she really sort of got, like I said, she got herself into the proverbial box.
But do you think there's a chance that any of those career prosecutors feel the same way you did when you heard this?
That she got herself into a box?
No, that we don't need the FBI director telling us if we're going to prosecute or not.
That they didn't. I mean, frankly, it's a little bit insulting. I mean, you don't have the prosecutor is in charge of the case. They come to the investigators are in charge of investigating. The prosecutors are in charge of deciding whether or not there's enough evidence to go forward to the grand jury, go forward with the charging document. I mean, if you turn that upside down, then it's topsy-turvy.
So have you're familiar with this U.S. code that deals with espionage?
Yes, of course.
That
code that section does not require intent.
I was about to ask that. That was my next question.
Yeah, it does not require. The rest of them require intent, and so Comey said we don't see intent there. By the way, that's not for Comey to decide. But anyway, let's just go with him. He says we don't find intent there. Okay, so the espionage code does not require intent. It just requires gross negligence. What Comey says he found was extreme carelessness. All right, now we're playing with semantics.
Thank you.
Well, does gross negligence mean extreme carelessness? Gross negligence? That's really close semantics. Well, excuse me, with all your intelligence and all that, let's let a grand jury decide whether extreme carelessness equals gross negligence. That's what a grand jury. That's what you bring in 18 to 24 people in a grand jury to decide that.
Down the road, I see continued political damage for her. This doesn't really fix the problem, because in a lot of ways he made a case for prosecution before he decided he was not going to recommend it.
Well, I don't know about the politics of it. I mean, I'm telling you just the legal part of it. The politics, I don't know. I mean, that's for the the political pundits to talk about. I don't know. I'm just looking at it straight from a legal perspective. By the way, I kind of knew when he was setting it up like that I said, oh gosh, he's not going to recommend an indictment, because that's just sort of when you set something up like that, you're setting it up for a big but.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that. I mean, I didn't know it. I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, I know everything, but I'm just saying, he's not going to recommend no indictment.
So what he did yesterday was very unusual. Tomorrow he goes before the House Oversight Committee. Yeah. Do you see much more in them being able to glean much more information out of him?
No, I don't.
He's going to clam up, isn't he?
Yep. I see this is not going any further than this. So that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah, that's it.
He'll just claim that he can't talk about it anymore because it's been turned over to the Department of Justice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. No comment. It's an ongoing investigation. Boom, it's over.
That doesn't mean the Republicans can't grandstand with it a little bit, though, does it?
Politically, I don't know. I'm just telling you, from a third-generation federal prosecutor, wow. If, like I said, anybody walked into my office and told me, Ms. Wiehl, as a federal prosecutor, what I was going to prosecute or not, they'd be limping on out. That does not happen. It would be insulting to me.
Good.
And it would also be, there's a lot of stuff going on, especially when I was younger, female. I dealt with mostly male agents, and that would be, I would not have any truck with that. Like, no, you do not speak to me like that, sir. Get out.
Elise Wiehl, we certainly appreciate your thoughts today. Thank you.
Take care.
You
have a great
take care.
Rest of the week.
You too. That is Elise Wiehl from the Fox News Channel. Wow, there's some insight for you. From a former, I didn't realize that she was a former federal prosecutor. Obviously, I knew she was an attorney, but there you go. Straight from the lips of someone who used to have this information handed over to them. And, effectively, Catherine Hanaway said the same thing yesterday. She dealt with FBI agents all the time, and in most cases, they were encouraging her to press charges. And she had to kind of parse out whether it was going to happen or not. But very few cases, if any, did she say she could remember where somebody came in and recommended against it. So that kind of leaves it a lot of things up in the air there, doesn't it? Let me get to a couple of phone calls here real quick. Folks have been holding on for a while. Paul, you're on the air. Paul, hi there. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Hey, hi, Mark.
Hi.
Hey, glad to see you back over there in St. Louis.
Thank you.
Hey, my question is, how does Hillary Clinton use a taxpayer's airplane for campaign?
Well, supposedly they were going to split the cost of it, is what I heard.
Yeah, right.
I heard her campaign was going to pay half of the cost of operating the airplane.
Yeah, okay. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, it's like $100,000 an hour is what that would have been for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's plus security and everything else. I want to see her campaign pay for that. They
should have to pay for the cost of the president to go down there. I agree with you completely.
All right.
Yep,
Thank
Paul.
you. Keep doing the good work.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Rob, you're on the air.
Hello.
Yeah, Rob, go ahead.
Hey, everybody is pretty upset with this Hillary thing, and I know I was yesterday when I watched the conference that Comey did, and I know in my heart everybody wants to see her prosecuted. But then again, after watching this thing go on all day long, and all the news people and the pundits and CNN and Fox News and everybody else, I got to thinking, it's like, wait a minute, why can't we just have some delayed gratification here? Let's go out and work really hard to get Trump elected. When he's elected, he can appoint an attorney general that can prosecute her, or maybe even a special prosecutor that can prosecute her. Knowing that if she does get prosecuted now, which is highly unlikely, the chances of her getting a presidential pardon are very great.
Right.
So why can't we just hold on and work like hell to get Trump elected and go from there, and let's see her get prosecuted in January?
Rob, the thought crossed my mind yesterday, and I appreciate the call. I got to get to a break here real quick, but it brings up this point. I think there were a lot of never Trumpers or people who didn't really want to vote for Trump yesterday who saw this I don't know, tragedy of justice that occurred. And I think a lot of them thought in the back of their minds right there, I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump because I can't imagine having this woman in the White House for 4 years. And I think that may be the biggest thing to come out of this. Don't you think?
This is not my first rodeo.
314-969-9797. Steve, Jeremy, Nick, I'll get to your phone calls when we come back.